itself, I just made a big 100 concepts list. I do have a bunch of other concepts lists all over the place, but this is like my latest one. So right now I'm going through planning some ideas, talking to you guys about some of the general concepts as I do the workshopping for this. Because this gives me the opportunity to just talk, connect, while I think about what I'm going to be doing for the next set of videos. I was actually in the process of doing one of my lives, my abundance talks. I do have video chats for my private clients, and one of them is my abundance talks, and I talk about different concepts related to manifesting for bringing in relationships. What's up? What's up? What's up? How you guys doing? I usually talk about different kinds of concepts related to abundance, and today's talk that I was having with them was why you should have big ass lists, because big ass lists are super important when it comes to content creation and also with manifesting anything, to be 100% honest. I didn't think about this till right now, but if you're doing content creation or trying to make more money, or you're working to build a relationship that you want, or you want to get your health right, people really underestimate the power of making handwritten lists. Like, it's simple, but it's so simple that people overlook it. One of the things that I do, that's one of the first things that I do with clients. Hey, what's up? Welcome from India. Glad to have you here, man. One of the first things that I do with my clients, what's up? Welcome back, Stefan. One of the first things that I do with my clients is I have them sit down and I ask the question, what do you want? Like, what do you truly want? And I am absolutely shocked at the number of people that I talk to who really don't have like very well thought out answers for this. And this is in terms of for everything. Like, I'm like, whatever you want. Like, you could have, be, or do. You could have, be, or do anything you want. Like, you won the lottery 6 times over. You knew you couldn't fail. What would you want to have in your life? What would you want to be? And what would you want to do? And the amount of pulling that I have to do to get that stuff out of people is shocking. And this isn't just young people. Like, I have people that I talk to who are in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s. I have people all the way up into their 70s who come on the sessions with me, and the concept of what they truly want really isn't thought about very in depth, or they've thought about or considered the concepts but never like committed them down to paper. And if you truly want something, you truly desire things, one of the first ways to prove to yourself that you really desire and you really want something is to write it down. And I've had so many people who come to me and told me like, hey, I don't want to write things down. I don't want to write down my dreams or my goals because I'm scared I'm not going to achieve them. And I'm like, what? So what? You'd rather not write them down and then forget that this was something that you were trying to achieve and then never achieve it at all? It's one of the concepts that I always found like super freaking weird, and it is a low-key manifestation hack. If you literally just sit down with a pen, preferably a blue pen, and a piece of paper and write down what you want. People say they want relationships and they think that that's it. But guess what? If you end up getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend, congratulations, you just got what you want. People say that they want to make more money. If I walked up to you and I gave you a dollar, if I could like push this dollar through the camera and give it to you, congratulations, you would be $1, you'd be richer, you've gotten your goal. The problem that people have is that they're really not taking the time to be specific. What's up? Welcome. People are really not taking the time to be specific about what they truly want. And they wonder why they don't get what they want. Well, it's because you never really took the time to explain to yourself and to the universe what it is that you want. And that's why I'm a huge advocate of writing down physically big lists. Forget using your computer, forget using your phone, forget using your iPad or other digital devices. When you use digital devices, you are limiting the tactile feedback of your process to just the movement of your fingertips. Your fingertips are being placed along the keys, and the exploration of your idea is very shallow. And I've found that to be the case, that people when they write down their ideas, or they write down their thoughts or their dreams and desires, that if they do it digitally, oftentimes the thought process is very shallow. So that's why I tell people, get a piece of paper, get a notebook, get a pen, and write down what you want. Don't just say that you want a relationship, get real specific. What kind of relationship? I'm gonna stick you guys into. Oop, I don't want to. Is it recording? What? Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Give me a one in the chat if you guys can hear me properly, because I just swapped over my microphone. I want to make sure that the mic is working properly. Can you guys hear me better now? Let me know in the chat. Perfect. All right, great. Take the time to write down your list and what you want to be specific. Two, so it's not clear. Okay, perfect. Anyway, um, if you want something, be more specific about it. Okay. If you want something, be more specific about it. So let's explore. What does that mean? Okay, perfect. It is now. Great. Let's explore like what that means. So I will often have people tell me, I want a relationship. Great. What kind of relationship? And then we get to like the first surface level layer, because you understand like the general concept. Like, I want a relationship. Great. You can have a toxic relationship. Great. Guess what? You manifested a relationship. So let's get a little bit more specific. I want a relationship where I'm secure. I want to feel secure in my relationship. Okay. Define security. Do you just want to be secure? What are the things that you want to experience? What are the emotions that you want to experience in your relationship? Um, and this is where people kind of get like a little stumped, because they're like, well, what do I want? And then I have to start asking additional questions to really start drilling down what kind of relationship that they want. And this has to do with people's values. So, like, do you want a partner that cares about family, that's very family oriented, that maybe already has a really big family? Nobody really thinks about or considers the family structure around the person that you're trying to attract. They just focus on the person. And that's why most people end up in relationships where they're like, I hate my mother-in-law, I hate my father-in-law. Why? Because you never took the time to really think about, well, if I want a significant other, if I want a person to be with me and I want to be with them long term, what kind of family life do I want them to come from? Do I want them to come from a very religious background? Do I want them to come from a big family? Do I want them to not be connected with their family at all? Do I want to get along with their family where this person just so happens to be the youngest and everybody else is a little bit older? And it gives us the opportunity to have wisdom and access to these people. And that's why people end up in relationships or end up having kids with people who don't have a solid village or a solid community and relationship structure. The beautiful thing for me is that my family happens to be a very big freaking family. Luckily for me, my grandmother and my grandmother had a lot of kids. My grandmother lived in Haiti. She was very the bougie, involved in the government. Family was very well off, and she had like 8 kids. And that means that I have a lot of aunts and uncles, and those aunts and uncles all had a lot of kids. So I have a lot of cousins who are all like various ages, and a lot of my cousins are in because my mom happens to be the youngest in the family. All of my cousins happen to be in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, 60s. which gives me, and my grandma's actually turning 100 in April, which is like huge, amazing milestone. So super thankful for her to go through all that stuff because she created a village and a support structure for me and the family. So when it comes to needing stuff or getting help, I have a really big support structure for help when I need it. When things have been hard or difficult, I have people that I can talk to and lean on because I have a really big family support structure. Um, and if you're somebody who doesn't have a large family or large support structure and wants to experience that and wants to have that, um, for not only you but for your children, take the time to think about that. Like, what kind of family structure do you want to bring kids in? Do you even want kids? Do you want a partner that wants and desires kids? I had a friend in college, his name was Ben, who was like, I want to get my nice little French wife. I want to have a wonderful relationship with her, and I don't want to have kids. I just want it to be me and her, and for us to have this loving, caring relationship together. He was somebody who was very closed off. He loved music. He wanted somebody who was artistic, and that's all he cared about. That's all he wanted. But he was very specific on what he wanted, and for a partner who's perfect for him, the only way that he could tell that that partner was perfect for him was the fact that he dictated and decided what he wanted. And that becomes a problem when people try to get into relationships with others and they haven't decided what they want long term, because ultimately they may end up getting into an entanglement and getting into a relationship and feeling something for someone who wants in dreams for having who wants in dreams of having a life that is incompatible with your dreams. So if you were to get with this person and support their dreams, it may end up being your nightmare. Some people want polyamorous relationships. Other people want monogamy. Some people want big families. Some people want no kids at all. So if you're somebody who wants a relationship, take the time to write down the things that are important to you. Do you want your partner to be religious? Do you want your partner to go 50-50, to be a career partner who cares about their career and supports you in your career? Are you a business person and an entrepreneur who wants to build things? You best believe that you better have a partner who either can withstand the ups and the downs of being an entrepreneur, or and has the ability to inspire and believe in you, especially if things haven't manifested yet, which is very important for entrepreneurial partners. And honestly, that's something that I realized was really big when I noticed what happened with my dad and my mother. My dad and my mother were great in terms of like the relationship. They had me and they had my younger sister. But what happened between the relationship was my dad has always been an entrepreneurial person. My mom is not the my mom is not the type of woman to support that kind of partner. It's not in her DNA. She's a very risk averse, security seeking person. So she seeks security. She seeks simplicity. So when it came to her and my dad, like my family members, a lot of them were like, "Hey, get a job and all this stuff for my dad." But his skill set is in crafting, building systems, building teams, and teaching and pushing harder than everybody else. That's like what's really great with my dad. So with him and my mom, he was able to build his first his first business, which was the construction business. Although that ended up stuff ended up happening with that one, so that ended up going out of the window. He transitioned to real estate, and then following real estate, he started getting into bartending and started opening bars and doing a lot of stuff related to bars. And then after that, my dad moved into doing training work for a company that handled affiliate offers, and they were cutting really big affiliate checks. And he realized, like, oh, the stuff that these people are doing is really easy. I can end up doing it myself. And then he started his internet marketing company where he was doing affiliate work, and then that became a super big business for him. But the reason why he was able to do and create that big business was because him and my mom had split when I was younger, and he got with my stepmother, who was entrepreneurial, who understood the entrepreneurial grind and supported the entrepreneurial grind. So when my dad wanted to be an entrepreneur, their thought process and philosophy mixed and melded super well. So she was supportive in the creation of the business. And that's why with my stepmother, my dad has flourished in terms of being successful. He's been more successful in his career and his businesses with my stepmother than he was with my mom. And that happens to be because of like partnership and understanding what he needed in terms of a partner. He wanted somebody who's gonna support that dream, support that vision, wanted to stay home, wanted to raise children, and they had my other two sisters, and my stepmom spent a majority of that time at home taking care of my sisters. She was a stay-at-home mom. So her desires to be a stay-at-home mom matched my father's desire to have a person at home where he was able to focus on that and build a business because he had a partner at home who was supporting the domestic needs. So there now, mind you, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with having a partner who's career focused. That's fine if you both are on the same page and that happens to be both of your desires. But you need to take some time to write it down and figure out what you want. So in terms of lifestyle, what do you want? In terms of career, what do you desire and what do you want? What are the things that you want to feel in terms of like passion? How do you want to like how do you how, and this is where understanding stuff about yourself is really important, like your love languages. How do you want to be loved? People say that they want to feel secure and they want to be loved, but it's like, how specifically do you want to be loved? Do you know your love languages? How do you want your partner to communicate their love for you? um, for some people, I've had some clients who've come to me who have parents from like Asian descent who might be Korean or Chinese and Taiwanese. And in certain Asian cultures, when it comes to the relationship between the child and the parent, the parents aren't very physically expressive or verbally expressive in their love. Most of their love is expressed through acts of service, where Korean parents may not necessarily tell you that they love you a lot. Um, yeah, my dad is very smart. Although it didn't always go super well. It wasn't a clean process to say the least. But I understand. As an adult now and as a father now, I fully understand. And Forgive him, because forgiveness is a big part of the process in being a father and being a son or a daughter. It's extremely important. We need to forgive those that we love and are around us because they love us and love other people the best they possibly can. And when we know better, we have the ability to do better, and that's what it matters. Once you know that you can do better, know how to do better, that you can be a better person. Um, Korean parents, and Asian parents, the people that have come to me culturally, and this isn't the case across the board, but it's a pattern. Yeah, where the Asian parents are not very vocal, and when it comes to love languages, when people come to me and they desire things that were missing from the relationship with their parents, which may be physical affection, wanting to have a loving, caring relationship which has lots of physical affection, lots of kissing, lots of hugging, lots of cuddling, where the love is expressed in that way. That's important for some people. For others, it may be they want their partners to be more vocal in their expression of their love for them. Say that you love me. Say that I love that I look beautiful. Like ask me how I'm doing. Like compliment me. And that happens to be their love language. Now, if you say that you want a good relationship, define what that is. What is your love language? How do you want to be loved? Do you want to be physically affectionate? Do you want your person to touch you and hug you and keep their hands all over you and to smother you when you come in the door? Or do you want them to consistently let you know, like, oh my God, I think you're the most beautiful person on the planet. I love you so much. You're so wonderful. You're so beautiful. How do you want that love expressed to you in your relationship? and actually take the time to write that down. And even with affection, what kind of affection do you want? Because not everybody wants the same kind of affection. Some people want you to give public displays of affection where you're kissing me everywhere and you're letting people know. Some people want to flaunt their relationship online, and they want to take pictures and videos to show off how wonderful and lovely their relationship is. Other people want to keep their they want affection, but they want that affection to be private, where it's at home, behind closed doors, and you're there. Um, and you should take some time to write that down. You should take some time to decide that. So, I'll make sure to tell her you said happy early birthday. Yeah, manifestation maxing. Yeah, that's exactly it. I realized ever since I started manifesting, making money, I started becoming lazy. I realized when I do get what I want, you lose ambition. Or what do you think? Oh, that's actually a really interesting point, Stephen. Um, when people get what they want, it's it's actually not a loss of ambition. It's it's like a plateau, which happens with relationships too. So when people manifest things that they want, you will typically end up hitting and experiencing what's like a plateau. You get the thing, and then you're like, all right, now what? It's kind of like the Christmas hangover. Actually, that's probably the perfect way of putting it. It's Christmas hangover, where you get what you want, and you're like, okay, is this it? Like, all right. Um, and there's a certain degree of being lost at certain points, and this happens with relationships when you finally get the person that you want to be with, or you finally hit the goal and you have the certain amount of money. The thing that gets people out of it is one of two things: either you go out into the world and begin to be around people who have more than what you want, which stokes your desire, which makes you desire something more, which is very powerful. But that's why it's really important to have friends who are further along their path than you. So if you're trying to make money, it's very powerful to have friends who are making more. So if you're making $10,000, $20,000 a month, it's really powerful to have friends that are making 30, 50, $100,000 a month, because by being around them, you begin to realize what becomes available at those levels, and that ends up stoking your desire because you see what's possible. When you have somebody who's making 100,000 a month, now we're talking about somebody who's making at like the gross revenue of the company is at least at 1.2 million, which really isn't a lot in terms of like business size. That's still small business. That's still relatively small. Um, but at that point, now you're talking about building teams, and now by being around these people, now you may decide like, you know what? I think I'm interested in building a team. I want to have a team around me. I want to have other people to talk about with the stuff that I'm building. I want to mix and meld ideas. I want different points of view. Maybe I want somebody with a more expertise in maybe like video editing or something like that. And you can't have that with your current income. So by seeing what's possible with bigger incomes, it expands your desire to something bigger. So it's like I have to make more money now because now I want to get this. Same thing with like hanging out with friends on like a boat. You may end up hanging out on a boat and you're like, dang, I didn't think about it before, but it's like I really like being on this boat. I would love to be able to have a yacht or to have a boat so I could take my friends out and do boating and stuff, or to go camping with a friend in an RV. And it's like, dang, I want to be able to, invite my friends out, and we go off-roading with freaking four-wheelers and all these different off-roading vehicles and all this stuff. And then you realize, oh, I need to start making this kind of money to be able to afford that kind of lifestyle and these things that I want. Same thing with relationships. If you're if you want to have a better relationship and realize how your relationship is, make sure that your friends in your friend group are people who have better relationships or who are further along in their relationships than you. Because then you realize, like, oh, you hang out with your married friends. If you're a boyfriend and girlfriend and you start hanging out with married friends, you're like, oh, actually, this is kind of nice. Oh, they have this. They have a home together. Oh, wow, they have the they it's really nice to see how they mix and mingle. It's, oh, they have their kids. I love how I see them raising their kids, and it's beautiful and lovely to see like them pouring their love into these children, and by seeing your friends, either your friend's husband or your friend's wife, interacting with the kids, you may look at your significant other and be like, I wonder how you would be as a parent. I think you'd make a good mother. I think you'd make a good father. And then you end up expanding the desire there. So whenever you find yourself stuck, one of the things that does, knock people out of it is building friend groups with people who have more than what you want, watching videos of people who have more than you want, so you realize what's available and what you can get, or going to things where you get to expand your desire with dream building. So like going to malls, window shopping, going to car shows, yacht shows, going to conferences and meeting other people who just so happen to make more in your same industry. All these things are great ways to knock yourself into ambition again by realizing what's possible. And that's usually what that knocks people out of the plateau is realizing what's possible, or going internally and trying to figure out what is my reasoning now, what's my personal reasoning, how do I want to change the lives of people around me, what do I truly care about, and by doing that you may end up finding reasons to get bigger. So like for me, I want to make sure that my daughter's good, and we have a whole bunch of stuff that's put together for homeschooling, or maybe get her into a private school. I'm not sending her to public school, so private school, learning pod, tutoring, nanny. So I understand what kind of lifestyle I want to craft and create for my daughter. So when it comes to making more money, me making more money is for improving the lifestyle for my daughter and also for my partner, and giving her things that she desires and she wants. And having the support for her, especially since we're going to be having another baby. So making sure that that stuff is all taken care of. So by understanding what matters to me in terms of my family, I understand my beliefs and understanding that pushes me to make more money. So number one, you could use the external world to knock you out of the plateau, or you can go internally and just like think about what are the values, what are the things I value and care about, and analyze what will change about your life that you want to give to people in your life, or to yourself, or to the world, through hitting your goals. I once did the perfect day exercise, ended up writing 5 to 6 pages worth of detailed day, and I think it could have been more. So that's good. Ego, that's perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing. Through the act of doing the perfect day exercise, you do exactly what I mentioned, which is make a big list of specifically what you want. Like, how do you want to hang out? What do you want to eat? What do you want to enjoy? Um, which is the virtue of the big list. The virtue of the big list is getting very specific on the things you want. And then you can also do that for like intimacy. Like, how do you want to be intimate? Because just doing it is one thing, but doing it the way that you want to do it is very particular, because you probably have very unique set of desires for how you want to be intimate. It may be specific positions, it may be specific speeds, maybe it's soft. You want things to be soft, gentle, and connected with long, slow motions where you're melting into each other, losing a sense of self in your other person, where the two of you are just absolutely enraptured and wrapped into each other, where the boundaries between the two of you seem to dissolve in this slow, sensual motion between the two of you. Or you may be somebody who wants things to be rough, hot, and passionate, with like this hungry, primal desire where you are like consuming your partner and they're consuming you, and you can see in their eyes this vicious hunger, this desire for more, where you can't get enough, and there's this just speed where it's just like you can't get your clothes off fast enough. uh, no problem with either of them. But if you want one, write it down so you can get real specific, so that you know when it shows up. Because that's another reason why lists are really powerful. You have the benefit of hindsight. So when it actually manifests, you realize, oh, it actually came up because I thought about it and put a lot of mental energy into it. Yeah. Surrounding ourselves with people who are quite similar to us in terms of goals. Yeah, that's important. It is an amazing. That's one of the things I actually have written down on my list, which is the importance of community with change and for change. Um, you become you become the you become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. I don't want to say your 5 close friends. It's the 5 people that you spend the most time with. You are sharing the same kinds of conversations through talking. You're sharing the same sort of emotional. Uh, you're literally sharing the same emotional patterns, because by talking to these people, they will change your emotional state. If you have a friend who has a dramatic, crazy life and they're constantly going through drama and they're sharing it, you're going to feel this dramatic, crazy energy because of the conversations that you're going to have, and through osmosis of like being and relating with this person. Um, if you hang out with somebody who's really like um territorial, it'll affect like how you think and how you feel. So being with people who are not only a match for your goals, but people who already have what you want. And that's the important thing. Not just people who are on the same path as you, but people who are further ahead, who have what you want, who have already successfully manifested and solidified the reality of what you desire, is very important. Because the people who already have what you desire, their natural state of being, the way that they talk, the way that they think, the things that they consume, the work that they do, the patterns and rhythms that they have in their life, that stuff rubs off onto you. And we really underestimate like how much our friends really do affect us in that way. So if you want something, like get very specific on what you want, and then look at your friend group and ask yourself a real serious question: do any of the people that I spend time with fit this role? And if they don't, start looking for some replacements and get rid of them. And that's the hard and fast rule. It's difficult for a lot of people because like, oh wait, no, they're my friends. Oh, it's like, nah, you can't take everybody with you. You shouldn't have to take everybody with you. There's people who are already there where you want to go. So stop trying to take everybody with you. Go find the people who are already there and spend time with them. Hang out with them, because they're going to bring you to where they are. And that's why it's also important to have multiple of them, because you don't want to be bringing everybody down. You want to be moving yourself up. And the process of moving yourself up requires you to spend more time around people and actually shut up and listen and observe. Because if you shut up, you receive the energy, you receive the conversations, you start rewiring and remapping your brain to the way that they think. You want to have a good marriage? Hang around people who have good marriages. Because if you just listen to people who have good marriages, you're going to start thinking like if you want to be a good wife, if you hang out with a woman who's married and enjoys and loves her marriage, if you listen to her, your brain is going to be rewired like a good wife. You're going to think like her. You're going to see the world like she does. Therefore, you're going to get similar results to her. If you want to be married and you want to be a good husband, you can't be hanging around your single buddies who are bachelors or pickup artists, because your brain is naturally going to be mapped to the way that they think. Because by just listening to them and having conversations with them, you're copying their thought patterns. And if you copy their thought patterns for long enough, you're going to get the same results. So if you truly are dedicated to what you want, you have to be willing to sacrifice the things that you've had, that you've been comfortable with, and find new things, like new friends. Anyway, I guess those are big ones. Well, that's good. So I'm going to explore those concepts a little bit more in depth in the videos that I do later. Let me really quick read your stuff. We realize less is more. The less equipment for my YouTube project, like way less, 2 items only, cost me to only remember when I overdid it once. What are your thoughts on minimalism? My thoughts on minimalism are use the minimum amount of stuff to get the results that you want. You really don't need a lot. I've made tens of thousands of dollars with literally just using my phone. I just recently added in the DJI mic, but it's literally just been my phone and a freaking like what, $20-$30 tripod or something like that. You really don't need a lot. Even though I have the freaking gimbal, I don't use the gimbal as much. But you really don't need a lot of equipment. The thing that's important is not the equipment, but the value that you produce for the people who consume your content. And that's why consistency in content is far more important. Equipment should be used only for the sake of improving workflow and increasing either the quality or the quantity of what you produce. If it gets in the way of that, no matter how wonderful and amazing it is, it's useless and a waste of time. So don't do that to yourself. That was Michelle here. Cool. All right, so I'm about to hop onto this call. I got a session with a client, my lovely client, Michelle.
Hello,
Hi, Michelle.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm wrapping up a live. All right, so now I'm going to talk to Michelle. We're going to have a private session. See you guys later. Love you. If you want more help, go check out my videos on the channel, and you'll find links if you want to book a one-to-one session to get some help. Either way, love you guys. Talk to you later.